Morning, everyone. It's Thursday morning, 7:15 a.m. I am indeed late for work. Well, whatever. With the road condition today, I'm not gonna stress myself. Off. Good. I am going to need new brakes soon. I'm gonna go check today at the end of the day for a new disc and new pads. Yesterday I went to a favorite store in the whole wide world, Walmart, and the washer fluid was on special, so I bought two for the company and one for me. And the Rainix one has a tendency to repel water, which is pretty good, which is pretty useful. So we passed the weekend without having access to Paranormalis. Don't know what happened. The site was probably down, and so it's back this week. I think it's been back since yesterday, Wednesday. And so my main concern right now is, if you guys have time, I would like your help to find a hardwiring diagram, how to hardwire a transformator, not a transformator, but a hard drive, a computer hard drive, to make it spin on its own, not to read anything, just to make it spin on its own. So the next one I'm gonna use, I won't blow it up like I did with the first one. So and also I'm looking to know how I could wind up my magnet. What would be the best configuration to wind up the magnet to give it an effect? Because I'm using a ferrite magnet instead of neodymium, and I'm gonna have to fix that, rewire per blade. And I want to know how to wind them up properly. Oh my god, there's gonna be so much traffic this morning. And parking in Montreal is gonna be practically shitty. I don't think I'm gonna head towards the Highway 30 this morning. I'm gonna take the small street. These are the kind of shitty morning when you want to go to work as fast as you can, and you can't, because every time you move forward from a green light, the other one is fucking red. It's like red light, red light, red light. Can you just make it any more shittier than I'm in a hurry to go to work? But there's no point in stressing myself. There's gonna be traffic everywhere. The road conditions are shitty. It's not like there's 5 inches of snow. It's just like the roads are slushy and covered with snow, and it's snowing right now, which just makes it even worse. And because the floor mat is covered with snow that I brought inside the car, everything is fogging up right now, and that just pisses me off. I hate fog with a vengeance. I think I'm going to buy the Rainix inside window anti-fog. It's a stuff you put on the windows so that there's no accumulation of fog or whatever. Nothing's more annoying than when your windows are covered up. Fortunately, I got plenty of these to go around. I can just wipe it off. Shoo, shoo, shoo. And my wiper blades are very good in the wet weather. Now they're just frozen a little bit. I should have cleaned them better. That's the thing with any type of cars, is that where your wipers are, it's like a whole channel, an entire gutter where the snow accumulates and doesn't go anywhere. each time it's the same thing. It's like it gets covered with snow, and then you have to dig it by hand and wet your gloves, and then your hand gets cold, and then you cannot use it. Oh my god, snow everywhere. My big van, my Ford Transit, where the truck I used for work, it's gonna be like covered in snow. There's a reason why I want to keep my truck inside. This is a long way to work. So last few days, I don't know. My brain is on high alert. It's working overtime for ideas and stuff. And I wake up around 3 a.m. and I just don't fall back asleep until like 5 a.m. when it's time to get up. Technically speaking, I could sleep until 6:30 and then just get 30 minutes to get ready. But I like to have my morning relax, like not being stressed to go to work, relax and do all the things I want to do before I go to work. And so I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and I leave at 7 o'clock. That gives me like 12 hours to do everything I want to do. My wife, she gets up at 6 a.m. and she leaves at 6:21. Within 20 minutes, she's ready to leave, which doesn't give you much time to relax or enjoy something more in the morning. It's just a mad dash to go to work. And she has such a long transit to do. It's utterly, I don't know. I don't want to work in Montreal anymore. That it's like this slush all over the place. Actually, this brown shit on the road, that's what makes the car rust in the winter. It's like a sandblast. It's like sandblasting your car when you're driving. It's just like the wheels are just propulsing all this stuff under your car like a sandblasting jet, and it just wears out the rust proofing you just put. That's why I put like 6-inch long mud flap. That way the car is protected properly under the car. Three weeks till Christmas vacation. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to send an email to my boss requesting the holidays vacation. That when I came back from vacation, there's gonna be plenty of work to be done. I talked about time travel in the past about, you know, you want to time travel. There's one factor that you never keep an account, and in any movie they never take that in account either, is what you are carrying as germs and bacteria and what is over there. So let's say you travel in the past and you got any type of new flu, a new type of cold or anything like this. You got it last year, you got it the year before, you were exposed to that, you got it, you overcome it, you're healthy now. But those germs, those bacteria, that virus still lives inside you. And it's still alive amongst all the other ones that are inside you. You had this. So let's say you go in the future and it's not the same as now, but there's a small city here and there, and it's really not the same thing as today. Let's say you're 1,000 a year in the future, and fortunately for you, everybody talks English. There's no new language, everybody talks English. So you go there carrying all those beautiful germs with you, those beautiful viruses with you, and You introduce yourself. You don't say necessarily where you're from or when you're from, and you want to integrate yourself to the society. You want to join that. You find that it's a beautiful world and it's worth it. Blah blah blah. So you are carrying that germs and those viruses. So within a few weeks, once in a while you cough here and there, like normal, reacting to the environment. But those cough, they release those viruses. And those people there in the future never were exposed to that. So within 1 week, half of the population where you are starting to get healed from that virus. And the village doctors in panic, not knowing what's going on, and you're not aware of what you just did. So you're spreading around that virus, and your mates, your girlfriend that you just made there, you had sex with her, relationship, and amongst the physical exchange, you're giving her something that she didn't necessarily wanted, not an STD, but the germs and virus and bacteria that you have on yourself that she's not immune to. And in exchange, she's giving you hers that you are not immune to. So, bam, you are in deep shit. Everybody start to die in the village one after the other. You're getting sick, and basically you completely decimated the village. Hopefully, nobody from that village went somewhere else to get help and infected anybody else. Basically, I would explain to you in the conspiracy world that that's how AIDS came to be. AIDS was never meant to be in our dimension. And the bullshit story that they give you that it's monkey and bestiality and shit like this, no. It was something brought from the future. And there's a lot of things that are been brought to the future by other time travelers. And the conspiracy world, there have been time traveler here, and when the time traveler come here, he's supposed to be under quarantine. So that's basically why most story you see on the internet about, especially Apex TV, when you see video about that and they're talking about time traveler and shit like this, basically it's bullshit. They're not time traveler. That they couldn't. They would be made aware. Any time traveler would be made aware of that situation. The germs and bacteria and infections and disease transmissions. And it's the same deal with the past. If you go in the past, they didn't have what we have now, and you didn't live what they lived back then. So this is a huge factor that when you're time traveling, try to stay as far away as anybody else until you get in contact with somebody that's aware of all these things, either a doctor or a smart person that's aware of this, and that if you go through a certain health condition, you'll be able to be taken care of. Those are important warnings, because nobody ever taught about time travel in that way. They never taught that you could die from a flu from the future, or a cold, or whatever disease from the future. And most stories that you hear about time travel, the only two that actually make sense are the one from Preston Nichols and the one from Al Bielek. Because when Al Bielek time traveled to the future, at this time in the 50s, they had the strongest immune system, and he wake up in a hospital because he was actually exposed to a lot of things, and it took him a long time to recover from this. That's why he had to work in the future to repay his medical bill, because at that time in space, the economy is the same as today. The technology evolved, the people surrendered their right and freedom to the AI, the computer, and the supercomputer became so powerful that they become nuclear. So those are all things to remember. The future is not necessarily your friend, and it's not necessarily friendly. You have to be extremely careful. Same thing that if you travel to another dimension, it could be twice as worse. So don't ever dream of time travel in a romantic notion that it's going to be like all this nice thing and glorious thing and sweet things and like fun and adventure things. Technically speaking, in Back to the Future, Marty McFly mom kissed him so much that she should have got the cold virus, and she would have died from it. Here right now, everybody's carrying the influenza. Everybody's carrying a basic virus inside them of the influenza. I got it when I was a kid, and I survived it, and I'm carrying it with me. So this is another thing I have to be careful about. So I hope that I didn't bum out your dream of time traveling. I'm just bringing back reality to what it is. And yeah, you can dream about the future, escaping the future. Just get ready to pass some time in hospital, in quarantine. For me, for sure, I would try to find a suit, a bio suit to protect me until I get assured that it's safe. Because just consider what's in all the shit that's in the water here now. If somebody from the future would come back in the past and say, like, there's so much water, and he start drinking water, and that person never tasted chlorine or fluoride in his life, how he would react to it. For that person, the water would taste different in the future than it would taste now. We're familiar with different tastes of water now, but if you go back 60, 70 years ago, the water was tasting natural because there was no additive or anything to control it. Now the water is controlled. The water that's inside the bottle, the water bottle that you drink, contains at least 6 different chemicals to make sure that it stays safe to drink for a long time inside the bottle. And some bottles even have a stabilizer that controls the plastic to make sure that the plastic which is inside doesn't decay with the water and you don't drink the plastic. So it's all things that most people are not aware of. So that's it. I'm gonna close that for today. I hope that that was educational and it didn't burn your dream of time traveling if we ever made it. If we want to make it, we have to work as a team, and I would surely appreciate some answer to my request. I don't have time, like I say, when I get home, I don't have time or energy to start searching for information and do all these kinds of things. I'm an assembler. One of my job skill is assembler, and I like to follow plans. And for me, it's really hard. It's really hard to create something when I don't have a plan. I have the skill to assemble anything as long as there's a plan. So on this note, I'm gonna wish everyone a good day. I hope it's beautiful and sunny where you are compared to here right now, and I'll catch you guys later.